Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 1844 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Today on Afternoon Express, actor and comedian Nik Rabinowitz brings a special guest along. We chat to co-creator of ZA News, Thierry Kasuto. Inspirational businesswoman Gaya Schatz shares some handmade memories. We talk with South Africa's hottest music trio, BlackByrd, and we go classic Italian in the kitchen.
We trust you're ready for some Tuesday inspiration. Good afternoon, South Africa. Thank you so much for allowing us back into your TV rooms today. Welcome to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. I'm Bonang Mateba.
I'm Teeny D.
And I'm Bonnie Booty. Thank you for joining us. Today on the show, we've got a big spoonful of medicine in the form of laughter for you.
Absolutely. Lots of fashion, lots of music, lots of inspiration, and of course, the yummy food all happening right here this afternoon. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Just a quick reminder, we do love hearing from you, so interact with us right away. We are on Twitter at Afternoon Chat, and of course our official hashtag Afternoon Express. Lots to do, so little time, so ladies, please take us through the loft.
Well, we just have a ridiculous amount of fabulous today. You girls look amazing. It's almost like we're like Destiny's Child and Beyonce.
I thought I was Queen Bee, geez.
Yeah. We have incredible guests here this afternoon, including Blackbyrd and then the highly esteemed Archbishop Desmond Tutu. What an absolute privilege it is to have you here in our laughter game today.
Teeny, so wonderful to be here, and might I say, you look so shiny.
Oh, thank you. I wore this black and gold dress just for you.
Oh, hallelujah.
And then, of course, the fabulous, the hysterical Nik Rabinowitz. Molo.
Molo Gonzani.
Dear bene.
That's Italian for I'm fine in Kosa.
Good to have my favorite tray here.
How's that?
How's that? And in our kitchen loft today is chef and food stylist Claire. Welcome.
Hello.
Tonight we're making my favorite meal and the perfect Tuesday meal. Pizza from scratch.
Pizza from scratch indeed. Made the good homemade way it should be.
I can't wait to learn. But for now, let's see what Bonang is up to with our first guests.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. So what do you get when you mix three gorgeous South African girls, three guitars and three beautiful voices? Well, you get Tamsin, Taryn and Exene, and together they've got 5 summer nominations behind them, and they're known as the all-girl female band, BlackByrd, and they're our first guest tonight right here on Afternoon Express. Ladies, lovely to see you.
Thank you for having
Welcome
us.
to the show.
We are so excited to be on the show.
You guys look absolutely spectacular. My first question, and it's always interesting when, you know, you have 3 different girls coming together. How did you meet to create BlackByrd?
Dum, 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 dum. Well, we were all already in the industry, so we bumped into each other a few times before, and we became friends in that process. And then it got to a point where this new project started called BlackByrd. And Taryn and Tammy had been working together previously, and they called me up and said, hey, do you want to be part of this new project called BlackByrd?
Stunning.
And I was like, cool. And then, I mean, our first gig together was at the Car. 2 years later, we're sitting here on this couch.
Absolutely incredible. Now, Taryn says, let's talk about you. And I've had, you know, different interactions with you, and of course, the 2 ladies. 2010 FIFA World Cup. You're part of a group called La Vuvuzela. And it was all about, obviously, you know, the music and festivities around the FIFA World Cup. That's where you guys obviously started working together. How was that experience?
That was crazy. At the time, we weren't sure who we were as people. As artists, we wore like a little clothes and and we were just like
I loved it. I think the girls and boys loved it as well.
We were crazy, and I think we were growing up as well.
Yeah.
And we had this yearning to kind of make music that was heartfelt and things that we could relate to, and our audiences. And so it was a wonderful time. And you know, when it ended, it was a good thing because you know, we'd found ourselves and we'd found our sound that we wanted to go with. And that's when I started writing music, and that's how the BlackByrd project kind of started.
And you also found out something quite interesting between the 2 of you. Tell me the story.
We found out we were family.
How are you related?
Our grandfathers are brothers.
So, but you must know, if you're from Cape Town, the families are like huge.
And how did you discover it? Was it, somebody you knew that you had a mutual family member that you met or something?
I actually auditioned for Taryn to be a dancer. And her maiden surname is my mom's maiden surname. So it's like Lamb. And then we were like, and then we put it together like that.
Fantastic.
So we actually had no idea. Because Taryn didn't come to like the family functions.
And now Tammy's not coming to the family function.
That is amazing. But let's talk about, the South African Music Awards and being nominated. Obviously, the biggest awards when it comes to music in the country. Exceed, you have made history. I remember interviewing you. You were 16, the youngest person to win a SAMA ever in the history of the country. And now you're here, part of an all-girl, band.
Yeah.
Did you see your musical career sort of evolving to become part of another group that's been nominated 5 times once again?
It was a very natural and organic change for me. I was a young artist and I needed to progress to a more mature sound. And also I wanted to go a route where it was, like Taryn said before, heartfelt. It was real music, I didn't want to go the whole dodgy route. So joining Blackbyrd was natural. It seemed like the right thing to do. And we never expected, when we started this, we never expected SAMA nominations and all these big shows that we've been able to do.
I mean, opening for Jamiroquai, that is one of the big things that you have done.
Yeah.
And obviously releasing your album that you dropped last year. For somebody that doesn't know Blackbyrd, how would you describe, without playing a single note, the type of music that you make?
People say it's 3 chords and the truth.
Wow.
So we hope that's a true story.
That's incredible.
No, but it's incredible how everything has evolved. We never expected, we had no expectations. And, opening for Mike and the Mechanics and Jamiroquai was big. It was big things for us, but we also, in South Africa, we were fortunate to be part of the Skouspel production. Afrikaans is groot. And, I mean, we perform at most of the big festivals around here.
Yeah.
And for us to just see that there's a growing fan base or supporters base, it really makes us feel like we in the right place, and we should, keep on going with this journey, and, who knows where we will end up.
But what are your hopes and aspirations? What do you want to achieve? Where do you see Blackbyrd in the next couple of years, couple of months, couple of weeks?
We're scared to say.
Tell me. You never know who's watching Afternoon Express right now.
When you put it out there in the universe, it happens.
Sometimes that's the thing. And it becomes very scary when your dreams are that big. But are your dreams that big that they scare you? Because that means that's good.
That is good. Tammy, you go first.
Tammy, come tell us.
I think, we just released our new album, Home. And we wrote this album while we were on tour for the past 2 years. And we just wrote about how we feel and like how we are at this stage of our lives. And we never thought that we would be sitting with you.
Amazing.
On this couch and have all the achievements that we've had. We do want to spread our music much more. We hope our last album went gold. We hope this one can go platinum.
Even better. Global.
But, we're ready. We want to get out there. We want to travel. We're doing London. We're going to go to London. We're excited, and we just hope that people like this positive thing that we're trying to do as women.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think for me it's so fascinating to have interacted with you, Exene, and you ladies at separate occasions, then coming together and seeing this and what you have, managed to achieve from 2010, 2012 to Blackbyrd today. So congratulations.
Thank you so
and
much.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
So stick around. The ladies are going to be performing for us right here in the loft. If you want to hear the truth, like they describe their music, make sure you do not go anywhere. Also, after the break, we're going to be making some homemade pizza. Yes, all the way from creating the dough. You don't want to miss this. Stay right here on SABC3.
Express yourself.
South Africa, are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. I'm still with Claire and we're about to start our pizza dough. Yes, we are. Homemade pizza dough.
it's a labor of love. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but I just want to inspire people and really get people excited about making their own pizza dough. Maybe on the weekend.
Awesome. I'm certainly inspired because I can't wait to impress my little 4- and 5-year-old boys.
Oh my gosh, and they can get involved. They can totally get involved and make it with you. That's the cool thing about it.
And they can choose their own ingredients, their own toppings.
Exactly.
In the meantime, go over to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za to get the full recipe and shopping list.
So, to get started, like I said, it's going to take you time. We're going to get our bread dough in here. Roughly about a cup or about 250 grams, and then we've got our yeast. So this is the magic that's going to make it rise and get all delicious. So that's about 1/8 of a teaspoon, and then we're going to add some sugar. The sugar really activates the yeast, so that goes in there. So basically, we're adding all of our dry ingredients and a little bit of salt.
What are some of the secrets to making a very good pizza dough?
Time. Honestly, time. It takes time and it takes love and energy to really leave your dough to ferment overnight and then work it the next day. It really does take time. And then say a really good bread flour. That's also going to make it delicious. You don't want to just use any old flour. So like a good unrefined flour would be amazing. Now, this comes the messy part. So hands are clean.
Okay, yes,
and
my hands are clean.
I'm just going to use my teeny tiny little spoon over here to dig a little hole in the middle. So we're making a well. That's just going to make life a little bit easier for when we start mixing.
Sure.
We'll start with this, and then do you want to pour a little bit as we go? So you kind of... You know, the recipe indicates how much liquid you want to add.
Okay,
but
so do it
just keep going slowly, No, you can just pour, and I'm just going to mix.
Okay.
So the recipe is going to indicate how much water you want to use. But honestly, where you are, the climate that day, the humidity, all those things really does change the amount of hydration you need in your dough.
Okay.
So we just get that going, and you don't want to. You can go for it just a little bit. Go. Yeah. Okay, that should be about it.
When making your own pizza base at home, is it best to go for a thin base or thick base?
I really think it's personal preference. Really, really do. I mean, honestly, you can just roll your dough out extra thin to get it thin. Otherwise, this special dough over here is a Neapolitan-style pizza.
Okay.
After traveling to New York and Italy, I was obsessed, hooked, had to make this, had to eat it every day of the week. So I learned how to make this, and it's just a little bit pillowy and puffy on the outside edge. So it's not thick and doughy, it's fluffy and delicious.
Yeah, and we're not sticking cheesy Viennas into those pillows, right?
No. Just a whole bunch of delicious air. Okay, so we're going to really, like I said, a labor of love. Get that in there, mix, and that's going to form our dough. No, do you know what? We're not going to, just because that liquid actually does sort of pop out as you start kneading. Okay. Sleeves up. Like I said, we're going to get really into it, and you just knead and knead.
So you need to knead before you estimate how much water
you can kind of feel it. You kind of see that it feels light and fluffy, and then you don't really need to add more liquid. You can see how it's already coming together quite beautifully. And do you know what makes life a whole lot easier is if you have a nice clean kitchen counter like we do, and you pop it out onto the counter.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. And then, like I said, once this dough all comes together, you leave that for 24 hours. 24
hours.
At room temperature.
Okay.
So you really want the warm air to just work that dough really well. If you put it in the fridge, it's going to what you call retard the dough. So it's going to stop that fermentation happening.
Okay.
So then we just mix. So let's keep on going. I don't know if you want to pass me that flour over there. Of course. Let's just add a little bit here.
Some on the surface?
Just a little bit, that's going to make my life a whole lot easier.
Of course.
And there we go. And then we just keep kneading. So like I said, this takes time. It takes love. Okay, so that's going to come together nicely. Start smoothing out and just really comes together a nice ball. Pop that back into our bowl here. And
do we cover it?
Cover it in plastic or in a kitchen tea towel, and that sits for 24 hours. And then that's going to prove and just really get light, fluffy. The air pockets are going to start bubbling through, and then we make our pizza. Day 2. But just because, like I said, I want to inspire people, we've got one prepared for later.
Thank you, Claire. Let's join Jeannie on the couch with one of my favorite South African comedians, Nik Rabinowitz.
Now, he's one of South Africa's funniest comedians. He's also an author and an actor. Joining us on our couch today with a special friend of his is our darling Nik Rabinowitz. Welcome to Afternoon Express. So good to have you. I am your biggest fan. I mean, you're basically the funniest Jew in the world. Apparently.
Well, I don't know about the world, but certainly...
Pretty much.
Perhaps in Africa, that's what I like to call myself.
Well, it's quite a big call because I know a lot of funny Jewish people.
Well, Jason Glass, for example.
Yes, he's one of them. Nobody else knows who he is, unfortunately.
We know.
So, how do you get to call yourself the funniest Jew in South Africa? You
just write it down. You literally get on your Facebook page.
But how do you convince others of it?
You don't need to.
Okay, you just say it enough times and other people will believe you.
Yes, it's like having a vision board. If you can actually cut out those pictures from Fair Lady and put it up there on your vision board, you too, as a beauty therapist, could supply Eskom with coal.
So when you were, a young little boy with in Constantia, it must have been quite tough. What was on your vision board?
I didn't have a vision board, but I did. Yes, I climbed trees. That was a thing I used to do.
And kids in Constantia don't really climb trees all the time.
Well, I had trees. I had a forest on the doorstep. I used to climb a tree, sit at the top. I was an only child.
Okay.
I used to talk to myself.
So imaginary friends was kind of something that...
I had a few.
Okay, you had a few. And you speak... I
did actually think that I've created a career out of having imaginary friends.
Well, you absolutely have. We were actually going to get to the Arch a little bit later. But welcome, Arch. I mean, such a privilege to have you on the show.
Well, can I say something?
I would love you to.
Well, you just look so radiant, Jeannie. And, those shoes... I just, imagine I like to wear a dress, as you know, but I just thought if I was in those high heels, then maybe I would be Archbishop Jimmy Choo Choo.
Tell me, you are busy with What the F at the moment?
Yes, sort of. I've just finished a run in Cape Town.
Okay.
And then we have some one-off shows in Joburg and then a tour towards the end of the year.
Now, we've got the three characters from ZA News here today with us.
Yes.
Obviously, The Arch, we've got Gareth Cliff here, and, of course, Bonnie and Bao. Which is your favourite character? Kanye and Bao, sorry, but Bonnie really...
Yes, Bonnie and Bao.
Bonnie's going to freak just now. But we've got Kanye and Bao with us. Tell me, please don't imitate Bonnie, she might kill me. But who's your favourite to mimic and to imitate?
I think The Arch is probably... It's hard, just like choosing between your kids. But I think that he is my favourite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your least favourite to perform?
Gareth is quite difficult to find and keep the voice.
Okay.
But, that's just something we have to do, especially if we're going to be back on the SABC. We just have to put up with that.
What happened when the real Desmond Tutu met his puppet?
Well, he first met his puppet at his offices in Milnerton, and we brought him along there, and he was, as he said,
I was just tickled pink. I don't think I could go that colour, but I did say that.
And we laughed a lot, and we sat down, we had a cup of tea. Madiba made an entrance. They had a chat, we had some discussions.
Who would play you, if they made a long walk to freedom starring us, who would it be? Danny DeVito?
I'm so fascinated. It's absolute genius. Has Gareth Cliff and Kanye met their characters?
I don't think... Gareth has met Gareth, and Kanye has not met Kanye.
Does she like her much?
We're not sure, does she? We haven't found that out yet.
Okay.
From Kanye.
Now, tell me, apart from being a funny man, you really are quite serious at times as well.
Yes.
You travel a lot and you take raising your family very seriously as well.
Yes.
You're quite a hands-on father.
I attempt to take that seriously because I like being married to my wife and spending time away is challenging for her. But I like to be good to her when I get back. I say, baby, you go do something nice for yourself now. Give me the children. Go and have a mani-pedi, a spray tan, a boob job, and then I will look after them while you're gone.
Now, being Jewish, I know that there is a lot of pressure for, within the community that when you do come back home from your travels, you've got to provide. You literally are, as a Jewish man has to send his wife out to be pampered. So how do you manage to stay relevant and hardworking all the time over all these years?
Well, I send my wife off to work. And she's a general practitioner.
Okay.
And she brings home the bacon. No, she doesn't. How do I stay relevant?
Seriously, though, you've stayed funny for so long.
I have a team of writers, 13-year-olds. We actually have a factory in Limpopo, and they just churn out these mainly fart jokes because they're 13. But I think that it's a discipline that you have to stay disciplined and keep working and keep coming up with things. And my mother-in-law wasn't that impressed in the beginning when we got engaged. She said, "DB, how long is he going to be doing this comedy thing for?"
Yeah. And
he can. Will he be a supporter? Really?
Okay, but now does she like you?
Now, I'm the favourite. Trevor was the favourite a few weeks ago, and then they found the tweets and stuff. But I'm back to being number 1.
Okay, fantastic. Now back to the Xhosa. How is it?
Mazel tov, Nick.
Mazel tov, Trevor.
And Trevor.
Now,
he is an 8th Jewish, isn't he?
We're not quite sure. Now, being a young boy from Constantia, how is it that you became so fluent in Xhosa?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, growing up in the trees and the stuff, and there were Xhosa people in the community. And I had a lady called Nonzwakazi Kutwana, who brought me up. I recently visited in a place called Bazia, eMaxhoseni. And she spoke Xhosa to me as I was learning Xhosa at school, and she carried me on her back for many years, till one morning, I'll never forget this. This is a very emotional moment. She looked up at me and she said, "Boetie, you're getting heavy, eh?" And then she dropped me right there on my 17th birthday.
Yeah, at first you've asked you, it's not a good idea to still being looked after. And, that's amazing, that the fact that you just picked up languages so easily. What did you study at university?
At university, I studied, it was a business degree. So I did business finance, statistics, mathematics. I cheated in maths.
How?
It was both dishonest and racist because I copied the entire Maths 102W paper from a Chinese guy.
Okay.
Who turned out to be Taiwanese, and we both failed. But I have acknowledged that to Professor Max Price.
Okay.
And it's okay, so we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I did anthropology, I did African studies, I did Xhosa, I did philosophy, I did maths and stats. I failed those and did them again.
Did you graduate from anything?
I did. I graduated with honours in business science, and it has served me not at all.
No, well, I can imagine it has, because you obviously run your comedy like a business.
That's just because I'm Jewish. Hashtag stereotypes. But maybe.
Do you have any weird hobbies that other fans maybe won't know that you have?
Not really. Now and then I go surfing with Thierry Kasuto. And he's recently recovered from a back injury.
Okay.
And so we go out there and we brave. Last time we actually were out together, there were sharks. There were actually sharks in the water. And I don't like going with him because he's French. And then he had his brother out, Jacques, and I was like, "Jacques! Jacques!" And then everybody thought, but there actually wasn't, and we didn't know.
You are absolutely crazy. I love chatting to you all the time, Nick. Thank you so much. All the time. Every time I see you, I get more and more obsessed with you. Thank you so much for coming on Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having me, Jeannie.
And of course, we're going to be chatting to Thierry Kasuto after the break.
Express yourself.
South Africa, are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, all new on SABC3. Now, we've spoken to the hysterical Nik Rabinowitz, but now we're joined by the co-creator behind the show, ZA News, and he's brought another very special guest along with him. Welcome, of course, to Thierry. Welcome to Afternoon Express, and Gareth Cliff. He's done a lot of work. I didn't think he looked so plastic in real life.
Hello, Jeannie.
How are you, Gareth?
Cynical, resigned, and happy.
Thierry, welcome. Firstly, what a fascinating project. How did this all begin?
Thank you, Jeannie. Great to be here. The project began close to 15 years ago. When I first came to South Africa, it was about 17 years ago. I called Jonathan Shapiro, also known as Zapiro, and asked him if he wanted to do a show with me based on an idea that I had of doing a satirical news show with latex puppets of famous people. And he was immediately interested. He knew a show very well called Spitting Image, which was very popular in the UK in the 80s, and it's a show we both loved. And so he decided right away to join me in this adventure, which lasted 10 years until we could finally put it together. We did a pilot, a second pilot, a third pilot. We took it to every channel in the country, and every time they said, wonderful show, great idea. Yes, yes, yes. No, maybe not right now.
They weren't risky enough, I suppose, because of the nature of your content?
Yes, they loved the show, but they thought that South Africans were not ready for it, which we always thought was, untrue.
South Africans are so ready for this. I mean, it's a political commentary, I think, is something that happens in our everyday conversation. So how did you then eventually get it to be so acceptable and enjoyed and appreciated now?
Well, we added social commentary to political commentary, obviously. We also have, like Gareth Cliff here, people from pop culture, showbiz. Careful with this guy, he's
I know, I've been in Heat magazine with Gareth a couple of times.
I know, that was fantastic.
How did you select your characters?
Well, if you make it into the news, you can make it into ZA News. Obviously, there are also a lot of politicians or celebs who are not happy because they haven't made it into our show. And if you're not a puppet, basically you're nobody.
I can't believe you don't have a puppet of me, basically. This is super depressing. Bonang must be freaking.
We tried, but it's very difficult to get beautiful women. It's hard to nail them.
I can imagine because, the schnoz there.
We just did Kim Kardashian.
Oh, really?
She's on the show now. Yes, that too. We have that. It's one of the few puppets that I actually have. One of those.
How are the puppets made? I mean, the touch is so real to life. It's quite terrifying, actually.
Yeah, the puppets are made of latex. And they obviously are brought to life by Nik Rabinowitz and Agri Lonake and Nikki Jackman and Mumsy and Lo Fenter. We have 7 or 8 voice artists who breathe their life and humor and character into the puppets. But they're designed initially in plasticine. We have some sculptors at the workshop. And until we nail the caricature, the puppet doesn't get made. We first do a plasticine maquette, and we need to find that, the chin, the grin.
What about my chin?
It is incredible. And of course, the movement artists have to spend quite a lot of time observing their character, I suppose, as well.
Yes, there's a lot of research done online, and obviously puppeteers have to watch the characters. The writers have to be also constantly looking at what has been said, how they behave, any faux pas that has been done recently. It's a big team. We have about 60 people who make the show on a weekly basis, but we shoot 2 to 3 times a week. And it's a relentless cycle because we follow the news, and more than half of the show is actually based on the news of the week.
Exactly.
The rest are skits. We do spoofs of commercials, of TV shows, of movies.
Yeah.
We just did a spoof of Game of Thrones, which has become
my goodness, I'm a fan. I'm the biggest fan.
Video, Game of Cronies, it's called. So if you go to zanews.co.za or to YouTube and search Game of Cronies, you see this video, which I think hit the nail right on the head.
Now, when you select your voice artists, like Nik Rabinowitz, of course, do you select the puppet for the voice artist or the other way around? Like, did you choose these characters especially because Nik could perform them so well, or vice versa?
No, we actually challenged Nik to, can you do this guy? Can you do Gareth? Can you do...
Normally the night before.
That's quite a challenge, though. I mean, what happens if you get thrown something and, can you work on command like that? Just come up with some kind of voices?
It's challenging. Normally I just SMS back, no. and then we'll see. And sometimes we have sort of kind of voice off between the artists to see who's going to do... Recently we did Nathaniel.
That must be so fun.
We did a voice off between Lo and myself, and he won.
Yes.
Because they said, no, Nathaniel doesn't speak like a... Ek sê my stem is heeltemal stunning.
If I had to have a makeup off with Nathaniel, I also would have lost. So there's no offense there.
So that's kind of how we did. And it is, in the beginning, you think, I remember thinking, how on earth am I going to do Gareth? But then, so you kind of find it somewhere and it just comes out.
So Gareth, what does it feel like for you to be a puppet?
Well, it's great, except people get to see my face now, which really is strange.
What's so strange about it? I mean, don't you think that you ever would have wanted to venture into TV?
All I
not
ever
just
wanted
online
to
radio?
do was marry you, Jeannie D.
Oh, that can still happen.
But
I mean, you're making a lot of money now with online radio, so it's a possibility.
yes, we have 3.5 million listeners every single day. Well, that's what I tell people.
You are too funny and too rude, Mr. Rabinowitz. So from big dolls to little bow baby dolls, we'll be back after the break.
Win your share of 4 million Rand in dreams. Dial *120 *762# to enter.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. My next guest is an entrepreneur from Cape Town who started an online business and support for young moms. It's now grown into a very successful plush toy company. Joining me is Gaya. Welcome to the show, Gaya.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you very much.
What does Little Bow Baby plush toy do?
Bonnie, we are in the business of bringing imagination to life. So we take any drawing and we turn that into a 3D plush toy.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing idea. How did it come to you?
It actually... Yeah, sure, sorry. It came from looking for a unique gift for my godchild, because, you know, what do you give kids who've got everything and you want something and your drawers are covered with their artwork?
Yes.
So I had a seamstress already who was making my sleeping bags, and I said, hey, shall we try to make this? And we practiced and we found a little niche in South Africa and it's taken off.
This is such an amazing idea. I mean, I know little kids love to just have something that they've made that they can call their own. I'm sure your clients get really attached to their toys.
Oh, they love it. They love it. You know what? Not only do we make kids happy, I also love the fact that we create memories for parents, because parents have got endless and endless cupboards full of kids' drawings and they don't know what to do with it. You feel bad to throw it out. So in this way, this is something that you keep for life. One of their favorite drawings or something like that.
Of course. And now you not only support yourself through your business, but you also empower women from your community. Please tell us about that.
Our dolls are made by previously disadvantaged women in Hout Bay. I live in Hout Bay, so I like to support my community first before moving out. So we've got 3 artists now. I say artists because they are artists.
Yes.
I mean, they're seamstresses, but they're artists. We've got 3 at the moment, and I'm growing my business organically. So any work that we get, we have more ladies that come in. Oh, Bunny, you know what? There are so many seamstresses out there who are out of work, and I just want to do my bit to help these women.
Wow, so have you ever received a drawing that was really difficult to turn into a toy?
I find, we find, the computer-generated drawings are hard to replicate because it just doesn't come out the same when you do it by hand.
Right.
So the best works
and children draw very simple drawings.
Children's drawings do, and it turns out very cute. We not only do kids' drawings, we do any drawings. We have boyfriends drawing for girlfriends. We have parents who I doodle my husband for Father's Day because my kids were too small. So
this guy looks very interesting. I know there's an interesting story behind this. Do tell.
So this guy is a child's interpretation of Nelson Mandela. We've basically linked up with the Nelson Mandela Foundation, and I run a yearly competition where kids send us their interpretation of Madiba, because I find this is a good way for the future generations of South Africa not to forget this man, because, you know, South Africa wouldn't be where it is if we didn't do what he did, and we really have to find a way to remember him. So this is our bit, and we basically make the dolls and we sell it on my website, and we give 20% of net profits back to the hospital that they're building in his name in Johannesburg.
Oh, wow. Have your own children made dolls?
My twins are going to be 4 in June, so they doodle.
Girls?
I've got twin girls. So at the moment, I do have mommy and daddy doodles, which when we find a gap, we're going to do that. Well, I've actually kind of told my husband, I said, oh, Mother's Day present.
Who's the bulk of your clientele?
Americans, wow. And then we have Europe, Australia. South Africa is actually our smallest market.
So if I want a doll for my children, where can I find this?
You have to send us a picture, email us. We have a website, so email us your picture to littlebowbaby.com. We will have a look at it. We'll quote you once the quote is approved. Right. We invoice you and we start the work. All our dolls are handmade, so it takes about a week and a half for the jobs to be in the system and to get it out.
Wow, this is an awesome idea. I'm definitely sending you some pictures.
Thank
I'm
you
actually going to
very
get my
much.
kids to draw lovely pictures. Now, Gaya, your little girl dream was to change the world. How far are you with that?
Bonnie, I think I'm on my way there with this new initiative that we started.
Yes.
It ties in very nicely with what we do, but it's called the When I Grow Up doll. We basically want to go to girls from poorer communities who live with no hope for the future or anything around them, and go, what would you like to be when you grow up?
When you grow up.
They send us their drawing. We convert that drawing like
Into
a
a
nurse,
doll, yes.
exactly what they want to be.
How
and I'm
cute's this
hoping,
nurse?
and I'm hoping this is a tangible dream, vision for their future, and they will do what they can to be that person when they grow up.
Yeah, because they can visualize it.
So we're doing a pilot study in South Africa now where I've chosen 10 kids, so we're gonna follow them, hopefully make their dolls, and then hopefully I would like this to be rolled out to other governments, to Brazil, to favelas, to India, the rest of Africa. A big
And Sri Lanka, where you're
and
from?
Sri Lanka, and also the refugee kids, you know, the Syrian kids who really have no hope at the moment. So this is my way of changing the world for the little kids.
Well, I think you're well on your way there.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Gaya. You can, of course, find all the information you need to get in contact with Little Bow Babies on our Facebook page. For now, though, Bonang is in the kitchen and things are about to heat up over there.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Back in the kitchen, like you said, and we're ready for part 2 of our recipe today with Claire. And we are making homemade pizza. Earlier on, you did see us making the actual dough, and it's not something you can do for like dinner tonight because the dough needs 24 hours to rise.
Yes, indeed. You can see how it's just started to kind of bubble. And
so how do you know it's ready to pop into the oven?
You will see these beautiful bubbles popping up.
Okay.
It's definitely doubled in size, if not tripled in size. And it's fluffy and light. You can just see how delicious
see
it is.
that.
So you want to be careful once you've proven the dough like this for 24 hours, you know, all that time going into that, you don't waste all that air.
Yeah.
So don't bang the bowl around, knock it around, do those sort of things. Just be careful. So top it out onto your table because it's just going to be too painful to work with it in this little bowl. Let's just give this a nice flour.
So that it doesn't stick to the spatula. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So just get that out there. And like I said, don't be careful not to knock. Can you see all those like strands? Can you see how that's the air coming in there?
That's how you know it's ready. There we go.
So get that out. Eventually we'll get it out.
So you need to take your time with this then, obviously, Claire, because
Exactly.
you know, like you say, you don't want to bash it around. You want to take your time. You want to make sure everything is nice and even.
Okay, so lots and
get a
lots and
great
lots of
crust.
flour in here. Flour your hands. Get them all nice and non-stick. We're going to use a knife. I'm not going to cut the table. I'm going to do it nice and carefully, just like that. And we're going to do 2 separate ones. So you can come along and do this with me if you will. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the whole thing about the Neapolitan-style pizza, like I said, is that it's not light. It's not a thin base. So what we do is we just stretch this out a little bit, round it. It's a very flopsy kind of dough. So just stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. And you're going to keep the edges. You're not going to punch down the air in the edges.
Because you want to create sort of like a center where you can stuff all the filling in, right?
And the edges are going to puff up.
Oh, good.
So you can get all kind of brave and you do it on your...
I've seen that on television.
Let's pretend to be Italian. Okay, and then another little trick for getting it in the oven. I use literally, this is a cake tin. It's a base of a cake tin. Or you can use a thin wooden board, whatever it is. Extra flour, again, non-stick. That's our best friend when it comes to pizza making. Just pop it out in there. So these are going to be like 2 little mini pizzas.
So no olive oil, no egg wash, no...
No.
Oh.
Just as it is. Flour and pizza dough.
Okay.
Those are friends. And a nice pasta sauce. I'm going to cheat a little and just buy... So instead of making a pasta sauce or any sort of base, I literally just buy whatever my favorite pasta sauce is this week, and that goes on the base, just like that.
So this is the great part where you get to choose whatever it is that you want to pop onto it, be it mushrooms, pepperoni.
Exactly.
Obviously, we're doing a bit of salami and cheese today, onions.
What's your favorite?
Evo, chicken, onions, peppers, green peppers. I'm a put everything on my pizza kind of girl.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like just cheese. Just cheese.
Just cheese.
Happy with just cheese.
Really?
Absolutely.
You're a simple gal. I should take you out for dinner.
So I'm zhuzhing it up for everyone here. Okay,
all right.
A little bit of basil pesto because that is going to be all kinds of flavour on there.
So when's the fun bit? When do we get to put in the cheese now?
Okay, so just because you said you like all your toppings, we've got some of our salami over there. You can start putting that on there. I think we're done there on the basil pesto, and then comes the toppings.
Love that.
So you can mix it around, do whatever you want, and we have a friend.
Hey!
Hi, girls.
Hey, darling.
Hey. OMG, Banana, I can't believe you're doing pizza. I thought you were banting.
No, you know, I actually do work. You know, I do get my fingers and nails dirty, you know.
But do you even, know how to cook?
Claire's here, so she's teaching me how to cook. Do you know how to cook?
No, we totally hire a chef.
Oh, of course.
But what's with the salami? I thought you were keeping kosher.
No, none of that today. You're here, so we want to, bring out all our best toppings. But where's that gorgeous yellow Lamborghini of yours, darling?
Oh, well, I had to invest in other things. Like, you remember Dr. ST?
Yes. You are a sassy girl. Are you going to have pizza with us? Are you going to stick around?
Totally not. I'm only eating rosemary at the moment.
How come?
Well, I had a couple of pounds to lose before I was going to host X Factor. That Cosa talent show.
Oh, X Factor. Okay. No, we've got the greens for you. We've got water. We've got lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce I can do.
I'm a little bit freaked out by these lips.
Your lips are
stunning.
Gorgeous.
Stunning.
Thank you. Let's do it again.
I'm just gonna fake celebrity kisses. We are freaking Claire out. Kanye's gonna stick around to have and enjoy our pizza later on today. But if you want the recipes, the ingredients, anything at all, log on to our website, www.afternoonexpress.co.za. Lovely to have this bow in the love today.
Burang, you look stunning, girl.
Thank you, darling.
And me?
Yeah, I've got a good doctor for those boobies.
There we go. I might need those contact details as well.
Yes.
She is still so sassy. So much more. All of this happening right here on SABC3. Make sure you don't go anywhere. After the break, we've got a fantastic performance from the all-girl band BlackByrd. I'm going to make you work. Hey? Do you want to pop this in?
No.
See you after this.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. Standing by to perform their brand new single, Better in the Morning. Axine, Tamsin, Taryn, and together they are called BlackByrd. Enjoy.
I called you up, I heard you were aching, and life's got you down on your knees. I wanna pick you up from way down where you're shaking. Tomorrow's not as bad as it seems. Though the cares of the world are hanging on your shoulders, those clouds might blow right by. Don't let your fears overshadow your boldness. Hey, don't stress and don't cry. Said, hey, don't you worry about tomorrow. Said, hey, don't you worry about a thing. It'll all look better in the morning, in the morning. We gotta live right now. We're singing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, hey, keep saying sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, don't you worry about a thing. There's a time to laugh and a time when you're weeping, and answers that we never know. There's a time to dream, there's a time to hold on, a time to let it all go. No, the cares of the world are hanging on your shoulders. Those clouds might blow right by. Don't let your fears overshadow your boldness. Hey, don't stress and don't cry. Said, hey, don't you worry about tomorrow. Said, hey, don't you worry about a thing. It'll all look better in the morning, in the morning. We gotta live right now. We're singing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, hey, keep singing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hey, don't you worry about a thing. just you wait for the sun. Sha la 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 la. Hey, sha la 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 la. Hey, hey, keep singing sha la 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 la. Hey, don't you worry about a thing. Woo! Sha la 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 la. Hey, sha la 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 la. Hey, hey, keep saying sha la 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 la. Hey, don't you worry about a thing.
Absolutely incredible. Ladies, thank you so, so very much. Amazing, right? Blackbird right here in our studios. Come join me in the kitchen. Let us know how much you love them. Tell us right now on Twitter at Afternoon Chat using our hashtag Afternoon Express. What a lovely way to finish off the show. Ladies, thank you so
I have to show
very
you
much.
how much I love you in the only way I know how.
Yes.
I'm a feeder, you see. So when the moon hits your eyes like a big pizza pie, that's amore. And Nik Rabinowitz, you are any woman's reason to Gaya.
Well, to all those Zulu girls out there, become a Julu.
And Kanye, we've loved having you. Thank you for blessing us with your sass. Your lips are still pink from smooching Kanye.
Thank you. It's the pleasure's been all mine.
There's some pizza for you.
No, no carbs are the devil.
Very, very sassy. Thank you so much for coming through. And of course, Claire, for making this delicious, delicious pizza. Really, really looks divine. Tamsin, Taryn, Maxine, the ladies known as Blackbird. What a lovely way to finish off the show. And for you at home for watching, thank you very, very much for joining us right here on Afternoon Express. We're back on your TV tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on SABC3. From all of us.
Happy eating. Good night. Now who wants some pizza? Grab a slice.
Thank you, darling.
It's just too good. I won't forget about you guys, don't worry. There you go, we've got another. No carbs.
Tomorrow on Afternoon Express, South African hip-hop sensation Ricky Rick. We catch up with a gorgeous Roxy Lowe. John Savage and Rob Van Vuuren talk about their latest comedy hit, Stone Cold Jane Austen. We discuss anger management with life coach Warren Munitz. We show you the latest trend in pet health. And in the kitchen, we make some delicious Italian desserts.
Another feel-good production.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.